Hey everyone, it's Dr. RAMANI. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism. And today we're going to talk about the many different faces of hoovering. Hoovering is something we often view as almost like an afterthought, but it's actually a really profoundly important part of understanding narcissistic relationships. And just as an aside, would love to just keep reminding you that I do have a new podcast called Navigating Narcissism. You can get more information by going to the video notes, and you can listen to it and subscribe anywhere you listen to your podcasts. But let's talk about hoovering. Hoovering, right? Again, it's that relapse, that moment of relapse in the healing process of narcissistic abuse. And frankly, it's a very human response to fall back in, a hope to work it through, a fantasy that somehow it can be different, an attempt to get it right, or a moment of weakness. So let's break down the 6, maybe even 7 faces of hoovering. Number 1, the "my life is awful without you, I was wrong" Hoover. This could also be called the Fantasy Hoover. It's what all of us ever wanted to hear when we were in these relationships. I was bad, you are good, I don't deserve you, but I want to devote my life to loving you and making you happy. That's what we want to hear. We wanted to hear them say, I'm miserable without you. I cry, I'm sad, I can't stop thinking about you, right? That's the fantasy, that they would miss us that much. Hearing that, especially if it is early enough in your healing process, is dangerous. Actually, I am sure their life is awful without you in it, but they don't actually mean it in that good way. But they are going to make your life awful again if you let them back in. And when they say their life is awful without you, they don't mean it the way you want it to mean. In losing you, they lost supply. They lost a punching bag. They lost a source of regulation. That's what they mean. Do you really want that role again? Number 2 is the "please help me, things are so dire in my life" Hoover. If they really can't get to you, you really block them, you don't respond, they double down. They'll say strange things like "people are after me," or "I'm not safe," or "I feel like I could hurt myself." They might ask for money. "I just need a little money because I'm in a tough spot since things ended." You are not emergency services, nor are you social services. If they're in danger, then tell them to call 911 or call it for them if you're actually concerned about their welfare. Narcissists do this because they know it works. They know you have empathy. You know you once cared about this person. You may still. And frankly, you don't want to live with the regret of it all. You're nice, so you want to help. And in the blink of an eye, by reaching out and offering to help, you may be back in the mess and on the chain financially, with time or with mental energy. If you truly believe someone's at harm, it's not your responsibility. You should really call emergency services. Number 3, the "I have changed" Hoover. No, they haven't. So if those are the grounds on which you are taking them back, it's a false assumption. The amount of change necessary could never have been enacted in a brief period of time. They may tout having gone to therapy, life coaching, taking ayahuasca, a trip to the moon, whatever. It's easy for them to say they've changed, all probabilities against it having happened in a meaningful way, and especially if you're still struggling with your trauma bonds, this is a risky letting them back in, right? And then you're going to have to waste time in that entire cycle again and having to get out again. Number 4 is the "you think you are healed and can manage them this time" Hoover. You may be, but they haven't changed. So let's say you are stronger and now you're much more understanding of trauma bonds and narcissism and all the rest. What does that look like? Was the sex really that good? Is anyone that attractive? Is it really worth taking them back? Your being stronger is great, and sure, you can radically accept to the ends of the earth. But getting out was not easy. Healing was not easy. So when they come rolling around and your rationale is that "I can handle it this time, I won't go deep, I will radically accept," okay, but then ask yourself, is that really a relationship? The number 5 kind of Hoover is the "you are happy and I'm going to mess it up" Hoover. This kind of hoovering is so big that it actually is its own video that's going to come out very soon. It might even come out tomorrow. They are allergic to your happiness. In fact, I would argue they are disgusted by your happiness, so they're going to come for it. They see your social media posts. They may talk to your friends. They know you're happy. Listen to that video that's about to come out, because this is a bigger topic, but it's real. Number 6 is the self-hoover. If you aren't ready to let them go, it's easy for you to go sniffing around, to look at their social media, to set up your schedule in a way that, oops, here we are running into each other at the gym at the same time, or to send some text to them yourself, or heaven forbid that you drunk text them. The trauma bonding means that these relationships are extremely confusing, and at times of loneliness or euphoric recall, it is easy to reach back out. Try not to do this. It often won't work, but if your timing is unfortunate, it might, and they'll start looping back into your life, or you may get caught into a one night or a one weekend hookup that leaves you feeling even worse. This is also tough because people may feel a sense of shame after doing this, and it makes the self-blame worse if this relationship you already got out of ends up having an Act 2 or an Act 3 or an Act 4. Hoovering is simply a part of the trauma-bonded cycle that can make these relationships feel like an eternal recurrence. Keep it in mind, because getting sucked back in is not only not good for you, it takes all of those cycles around self-blame and makes them far, far worse. Thanks again.